Hi everybody, it's your bartender, Yanni Hamburger, back again with another Troma review. This time, we're doing it. That's right. Tromeo and Juliet is going to be our film today. Why? Because I just feel like doing a movie that has the Lord Almighty in the movie. Yes.
Who'd win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy. God.
Wrong, dickhead. Trick question. Lemmy is God.
Now, we have our two families. Lemmy introduces them to us, the rich Capulets and the poor Kays. At the center of the families are Tromeo K and Juliet Capulet. Tromeo lives in squalor with his poor father Monty and works at a tattoo parlor, while his cousin Benny and friend Murray. Juliet is sequestered in her family's mansion, watched over by her abusive father Cappy, possessive mother Ingrid, and overprotective cousin Tyrone, all while being sexually satisfied by family servant Ness. Yes. Both Tromeo and Juliet are trapped in cases of unrequited love. Tromeo lusts for the big bosomed, yes, I said bosomed, when I meant to say bosomed, Precious Rosie. Juliet engaged to wealthy meat tycoon London Arbuckle as a prelude to an arranged marriage. In the meantime, a bloody brawl begins with Murray and Sammy Capulet reaches the attention of Detective Ernie Scalise, who gathers the heads of the two families together and declares that they will be held personally accountable for any breaches of the peace. Almost immediately afterwards, Monty and Cappy start threatening each other with weapons. Sammy gets caught in the window of Monty's speeding car, where he's thrown headfirst into a fire hydrant. You know it's coming. On the insistence of Murray and Benny, Tromeo attends the Capulets' masquerade ball in hopes of meeting Rosie, only to find another man chowing down on her. Tromeo staggers around the party in disillusion until he locks eyes with Juliet. The two instantly fall for each other and share a dance until an angry Tyrone chases him out of the house. Now, Tromeo and Juliet continue to be enamored by one another afar from Cappy. Disgusted at his daughter's active libido, forcefully imprisons her in a plastic cage as punishment. I wish we could do that to half of Twitter. Eventually, Tromeo sneaks into the house of Capulet and the two meet once again. After proclaiming their love for each other, both verbally and physically, they agree to be married. Juliet breaks the engagement with Arbuckle with the help of Father Lawrence, and the two are married secretly the next day. Upon discovering Juliet's secret affair, Tyrone gathers the gang and accuses Tromeo of bride napping. Now a kinsman to the Capulets, Tromeo reassures Tyrone that Juliet doesn't want Arbuckle as her husband anymore. Hence, he is announcing a truce to both families. However, Tyrone don't believe this shit. Not one bit. Eventually, Murray stands by Tromeo's side to defend his honor, but is fatally wounded by Tyrone's club, as an example for anyone besides Arbuckle to dare seduce Juliet. Tromeo, enraged by his friend's death, pursues Tyrone and, yes, kills him. Then he goes into hiding. However, after receiving information from Ness, Detective Scalise declares a manhunt for Tromeo to ensure that Tyrone's sacrifice won't be in vain on Cappy's behalf. Learning from the late Tyrone that Juliet has already become Tromeo's wife, Cappy savagely beats her into reconciling with Arbuckle, threatening to disown her if she resists again. With the help of Cappy, Arbuckle accepts her reproposal and the wedding date is set. Ooh, boy. Yeah, this is a long way to go. Well, on the day of her wedding, Juliet drinks the apothecary's potion, which is supposed to put her to sleep, basically. You know now what the story basically is, but it transforms her into a hideous cow monster with a 3-foot dong. Yeah. The mere sight of her causes Arbuckle to leap out of Juliet's window in fright, committing suicide to the... I can't say that word on YouTube, can I? Committing the act in the process. Enraged over the loss of his would-be son-in-law and meat inheritance, Cappy deems Juliet a disgrace to the whole family and sentences her to death, but Tromeo arrives just in time to chase Cappy out of her room before he can kill her and bring Juliet's appearance back to normal with a single kiss. Meanwhile, Cappy was forced to retreat to the parlor to get his crossbow and then returns to Juliet's room ready to execute the newlyweds. Eventually, Juliet performs one act of defiance against her father by giving him the shock treatment, basically, with a computer monitor. After the Capulets' residence is successfully overtaken, Detective Scalus becomes impressed by Tromeo and Juliet's teamwork in clearing his name and therefore satisfied to see the end of Cappy's criminal empire, pardoning Tromeo of murder while ordering for Cappy's corpse to be transported by an ambulance for cremation. So yes, the film actually ends with the narrator's brief poem for the lovers. And a brief shot of William Shakespeare is laughing before the end credits. Now, let's take a look at some of the fun facts about this movie. That was a long synopsis. I can tell you that much right now. Matter of fact, Sean Gunn is in this. He's in a lot of those films, especially around this time. He is Sammy Capulet. So yeah, he's always the fun one in this one. There were some follow-ups that were attempted, but that's never going to happen. I got a feeling Troma did announce that, they were going to do a parody of Sense and Sensibility. As of 2020, there's no plans to follow up on the film, although Troma said it would head into production. Obviously, the soundtrack is pretty iconic. It has Motorhead on it. Ass Ponies are on it as well. It's just a great movie, all in all. Now, the first draft of Tromeo and Juliet was surfaced in 1992. Written by Lloyd Kaufman, of course, with Andy Deemer and Phil Rivero. Written entirely in Shakespearean verse, and supposedly was going to feature the Toxic Avenger as a side character. Feedback from other Troma employees finally said, nah, we're not doing that crap. Nah. Another shot was taken at the concept, this time by James Gunn. Gunn completely rewrote the script, again in Shakespearean verse, but much darker and more obscene. Thank you, James Gunn. The original version had Juliet as a stripper and Tromeo as a crack dealer. Another revision with additional material by Kaufman was crafted into what the film eventually came. Tromeo and Juliet was shot in the summer of 1995 for $350,000. Actually one of the least expensive films. And yes, it has the car crash in it. Oh, my favorite car crash of all time. What can I say? So anyways, leave a note in the comments. If you love the movie, what did you love about the movie? Just place it down there. Let me know. And also let me know what Troma film you want me to cover before the end of the month. Well, this has been your bartender, Yanni Hamburger, with another Troma review.